off to the land of Soviets. Tintin, the brave young reporter, was embarking on a new and thrilling adventure. This time his destination was the vast and enigmatic Soviet Union, a land shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Tintin, the brave young reporter, was going on an adventure. He meticulously prepared for his journey, jotting down notes and gathering all the essentials he would need. His heart raced with excitement and anticipation. He was taking his faithful dog Snowy with him. Snowy, with his keen senses and unwavering loyalty, was more than just a pet. He was Tintin's trusted companion and partner in all his escapades. They were off to the Soviet Union. The journey ahead was long and filled with uncertainties, but Tintin's spirit was unyielding. He had always been drawn to the unknown, and this trip was no exception. It was a big, mysterious country far away. The Soviet Union, with its vast landscapes and rich history, was a place that few had ventured into. Tintin had heard tales of its grandeur and its secrets, and he was eager to uncover them.
This is going to be exciting, Snowy. Tintin spoke to his loyal dog, who seemed to understand every word. Snowy barked in agreement, his tail wagging furiously.
Tintin was excited. His eyes sparkled with the thrill of the unknown. He had always been a seeker of truth and adventure, and this journey promised both in abundance. He had heard many stories about it, tales of espionage, political intrigue, and the resilience of the people. Each story added to the allure of the Soviet Union, making it a destination he couldn't resist. They boarded a train in Brussels. The station was bustling with activity, filled with travellers from all walks of life. Tintin and Snowy navigated through the crowd, their eyes set on the adventure ahead. It was full of people going east. The train was a melting pot of cultures and stories, each passenger with their own destination and purpose. Tintin couldn't help but wonder about the lives of those around him. Tintin found his seat and looked out the window. The scenery changed rapidly, from bustling cities to serene countrysides. Each passing view was a reminder of the vastness of the world and the endless possibilities it held. Snowy wagged his tail, happy to be on a journey. The little dog was just as eager as Tintin, his excitement palpable. Together, they were an unstoppable team, ready to face whatever came their way. The train chugged along, taking them towards the unknown. The rhythmic sound of the wheels on the tracks was almost hypnotic, lulling the passengers into a sense of calm. But for Tintin, it was a reminder of the adventure that awaited.
Snowy barked happily, his excitement mirroring Tintin's own. The bond between them was unbreakable, forged through countless adventures and shared experiences.
They were ready for anything. With their backpacks packed and their spirits high, Tintin and Snowy were prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their determination was unwavering, their resolve unbreakable. Little did they know trouble was already brewing. In the shadows, unseen forces were at work, plotting and scheming. The journey to the Soviet Union was not just an adventure, it was a test of courage, wit and resilience. Tintin and Snowy were about to embark on their most challenging quest yet, one that would test their limits and push them to their very edge. Trouble on the tracks! The train sped through the night, its wheels clattering rhythmically against the tracks. The moonlight cast eerie shadows on the landscape as the train hurtled forward, cutting through the darkness like a knife. Inside one of the compartments, Tintin was engrossed in his book, oblivious to the world outside. The gentle rocking of the train and the soft hum of the engine provided a soothing backdrop to his reading. Suddenly there was a loud bang. The train lurched violently, throwing Tintin off balance. His book flew out of his hands and he grabbed the edge of the seat to steady himself.
"What was that?" Tintin exclaimed, his heart pounding in his chest. He looked around, trying to make sense of the sudden commotion.
Tintin wondered, jumping to his feet. He knew something was terribly wrong. The train was supposed to be on a smooth journey, but this was anything but smooth. He looked out the window, straining his eyes to see through the darkness. The landscape outside was a blur, but he could make out the outline of a bridge. The train had stopped on a bridge, its wheels screeching to a halt. The sudden stop sent a shiver down Tintin's spine. Why had the train stopped here, of all places? Below, he saw a man running away, his figure barely visible in the dim light. The man moved quickly, as if he had something to hide. The man had a sinister grin on his face, a look that sent chills down Tintin's spine. It was clear that this was no ordinary passenger.
Sabotage! Tintin shouted, his voice echoing through the compartment. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks. Someone had deliberately caused the train to stop.
Tintin exclaimed, his eyes widening. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. This was a dangerous situation and he had to act quickly. He knew he had to act fast. There was no time to waste. The safety of the passengers depended on him. He grabbed Snowy and raced out of the train car, his mind racing with thoughts of what to do next. He had to find the conductor and alert him to the danger. He had to warn the other passengers. This was no accident. Tintin ran through the train cars, shouting for everyone to stay calm and be alert. The passengers looked at him with a mix of confusion and fear, but Tintin's determination gave them hope. The Great Soviet Illusion. Tintin and Snowy continued their journey. They traveled through the Soviet countryside. Things looked different from what Tintin had expected. He saw huge posters of happy workers and bountiful farms, but something felt wrong.
They are trying to fool everyone.
Tintin noticed the farms were bare. The workers looked tired and sad. It was all a facade. The Soviets were trying to hide the truth. He knew he had to expose the truth. Tintin, the reporter, was on the case. The People's Choice? Tintin arrived in a small town. It was election day there. The Soviets were holding local elections that day. They claimed it was a free and fair system for all, but Tintin saw through the charade immediately. There was only one name on the ballot paper.
This is not a real election at all.
Tintin muttered, shaking his head in disapproval. He knew the people had no choice. This was not democracy. He had to show the world what was really going on there. Finally, Tintin reached Moscow, the capital of the Soviet Union. He expected a grand and bustling city. Instead, he found a place of fear and silence.
There is so much suffering here.
People were afraid to speak their minds. The streets were patrolled by stern-faced soldiers. Everyone seemed to be watching everyone else.
He could feel the oppression in the air. He knew he had to help these people. He had to find a way to fight back against the injustice.
One day, Tintin met a group of farmers hiding in a church. They were kulaks, wealthy farmers who resisted the government's control. They were being persecuted.
The Bolsheviks are taking our land and our livelihoods. They are forcing us into collective farms. We are losing everything.
Tintin listened to their stories with a heavy heart. These people were being treated unfairly. He knew he had to help. He promised the kulaks he would tell the world about their plight. Tintin's investigation angered the Soviet authorities. They labeled him an enemy of the state. One night he was captured by the secret police, the OGPU.
He was accused of espionage and sentenced to death by firing squad.
Snowy barked frantically, trying to protect his master, but it seemed like the end for Tintin. Just as the soldiers prepared to fire, a commotion broke out. A group of rebels stormed the execution ground. They had come to rescue Tintin. He had made some friends in unexpected places. The rebels took Tintin to their hideout. They were planning to expose the truth about the Soviet regime. They needed Tintin's help.
We have evidence of their crimes, the rebel leader told Tintin. We need to get this information to the outside world.
Tintin knew this was his chance. He had to get this information out. He had to show the world the true face of the Soviet Union. This was his most dangerous mission yet. Tintin and the rebels devised a daring plan. They would escape from the Soviet Union. They would take the evidence with them. But the OGPU was closing in.
They made a mad dash for the border. They dodged bullets and evaded patrols.
Snowy proved to be a valuable companion, sniffing out danger and distracting the enemy. Finally, they reached the border. With one last burst of speed, they crossed to freedom. They had escaped the clutches of the Soviet Union. Tintin had triumphed again. Tintin returned to Brussels a hero. The city was abuzz with excitement as news of his return spread like wildfire. People from all walks of life gathered at the train station, eager to catch a glimpse of the young reporter who had braved the unknown. He shared his story and the evidence he had gathered. Journalists clamored for his attention, their cameras flashing as they captured every moment. Tintin held up the documents, each piece of evidence a testament to his relentless pursuit of the truth. The world was shocked by the truth about the Soviet Union. The revelations were staggering, painting a grim picture of a regime shrouded in secrecy and deceit. People gasped as they learned of the atrocities and the extent of the oppression.
Tintin's adventure exposed the lies and oppression of the regime. He had ventured into the heart of darkness, uncovering secrets that many had tried to keep hidden. His courage and determination shone through as he brought these truths to light. He had faced danger and risked his life to bring the truth to light. From evading capture to sneaking around under the cover of night, Tintin's journey was fraught with peril. Yet, he never wavered, driven by a sense of duty and justice.
And so, Tintin, the brave reporter, returned to his quiet life. The bustling streets of Brussels seemed a world away from the chaos he had left behind. He found solace in the familiar, yet his mind often wandered back to the harrowing experiences he had endured. But the memory of his adventure in the Soviet Union would stay with him forever. The faces of those he had met, the stories he had uncovered, and the dangers he had faced were etched into his memory. They served as a constant reminder of the importance of his work. He had made a difference in the world. His bravery had not only exposed the truth, but had also inspired others to stand up against injustice. The applause of the crowd was a testament to the impact he had made. He had fought for what was right. Tintin's legacy was one of courage, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to the truth. He stood tall, a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding everyone that one person can indeed make a difference.